It's a case of, if you can't see it, you can't be it. Getting coverage from all around the world of archery is a fantastic thing for the sport. Well, Roseanne Gilbert from South Africa has taken the bronze medal. It's going to be a clean sweep for South Africa. It's time for gold. Let's go down for the athlete introductions.
And target number 1, Jeanine Van Kradenburg, South Africa.
Sur la cible numéro 1, Jeanine Van Kradenburg représentant l'Afrique du Sud.
And target number 2, Marie Louise Vermeulen from South Africa.
Et sur la cible numéro 2, Marie Louise Vermeulen représentant l'Afrique du Sud.
And the judge for this match is Tabet Zidi.
Et le juge aujourd'hui, Tabet Zidi.
So here we go, gold medal match, two South Africans up against each other. Number 1 seed after the ranking round, Jeanine Van Kradenburg on target number 1 on your left as you look down the range. Goes up against a teammate, Marie Louise Vermeulen, also from South Africa. It's time to go for gold here in Pretoria.
Hey. Okay.
Solid start there from Van Kradenburg.
Yeah, and that's really the experience showing out. Van Kradenburg, a long-time international on the South African squad. Competed twice internationally already this year.
9. Okay. Okay, 9. Okay.
What a start from Van Kradenburg, a perfect 30. That will not only settle her nerves, but put a bit of pressure on Vermeulen.
Van Kradenburg hasn't been exceptionally active over the past few years. 2019 was the last time we saw her until 2020. She got at the World Games and at the Paris stage of the World Cup this season. Was ranked up at about 21 in the world a few years ago, and picked up quite a few medals on the Archery World Cup circuit, particularly with the South African compound women's squad when they were very much active. 2019 had a really good season, was kind of up there in terms of scoring power with some of the best in the world. Great to see her back in front of the cameras again.
When you look at the ranking rounds from these two, there's a big gap, isn't there? 693 for Van Kradenburg, who ranked number 1. Ranked number 3, so not a big difference in ranking, but a 641 scored in that ranking round over 72 arrows. So a 52-point difference between them. Is there any chance here for Vermeulen?
There's always a chance over 15 arrows, but for sure Van Kradenburg is the favourite. You know, it's long been talked about with compounds. Potential application, and then this year the application to the Olympics about growing the level of compound women's athletes, particularly in some of the more developing countries. And there is a lot of work to do still in Africa, particularly with the compound bow, and that's to do with access to equipment and assisting developing those programs of expertise Same thing with para archery that's happening right now. A lot of investment in para archery in Africa, in coaches, in equipment and availability. So, you know, it's happening. It does take time, and it's events like this and events where we see experienced archers like Van Kradenburg, you know, performing in the finals field that help push these young African compound archers, young African compound women to perform at a higher level.
After range 1, we have on target 1, we have a perfect score by Ms. Jeanine Van Kradenburg, and 3 points behind we have Ms. Marie Louise Vermeulen.
So trailing by 3, it will be Marie Louise Vermeulen to get the second end underway. Shooting first, a chance to put some pressure on her opponent, who hasn't missed the 10 yet.
Nine. Ten. Eight.
It's a good grouping from Van Kradenburg. She did make a little adjustment to her sight.
9.
And drops her first point, but still leading by 5 after just 5 arrows.
See Jeanine's head move a little bit to the left as she let that go. Probably just knew she wasn't aiming at the spot, but she has been twisting that sight, trying to move those arrows from the right of the 10, just in case one of those was going to dip too far out.
19.
Looking back in the middle for me, so 59 plays 54. It's those fine margins, Chris, isn't it, that, well, the likes of you can spot a little movement of the head makes a big difference 50 meters down the range.
A huge difference, you know. 1 millimeter at the archer ends, whether that's on the anchor point on the back end, whether it's on the aiming point with the front hand, whether it's in the smoothness of execution. A millimeter difference is going to send that arrow 8-10 centimeters out of the middle, and that's what makes it so impressive. If you look at Jeanine Van Kradenburg's group, I mean, the clump in the 10 ring to the right, that's, you know, smaller than X size. That's a Euro-sized group right there. So when something doesn't go right and it flops down to the bottom, like that second arrow, it's really obvious.
To you, we're talking about very fine margins. You need an acute eye on this and plenty of experience to see those many things. But archery, as we've always said, is all about consistency. There seems to be a strange movement from Vermeulen as well. Just as she executes the shot, just as she releases it, she appears to close both eyes.
Well, at that point, all the aiming's done, and it's all about execution, isn't it? And the way these two archers are executing is very different. Jeanine Van Kradenburg using an index finger trigger release, where she clicks down on it with her index finger. It's a little bit obscure. We don't have another camera angle, only from this side, because she's left-handed. Her face obscures it, whereas Marie Louise is using the kind of standard thumb trigger release we'll see a lot of the world's best use.
The start of the third end, a 5-point deficit for Marie Louise Vermeulen, and she's going to shoot first. She needs to get back into this one. That is a big gap already.
Six.
Big opportunity here now for Van Kradenburg.
9.
First one over onto the left, but stays in the 9 ring.
I was telling 50% of the truth. It is a kind of standard format release, but it's a back tension. She's got her thumb on that trigger as she draws up, and then she takes it off and pulls until it executes against the weight of the bow.
10.
We can just see the
9.
tension building up there as she gets to full draw. Well, a massive swing in this third end, a 10-point lead, of course, subject to confirmation from the target judge, but big opportunity presented there because Vermeulen shot a 6 with her first arrow.
She's already trailing. To put in a bad arrow like that, you can see the frustration on her face. In a compound match where it's 15 arrows straight score, if you're already trailing and you drop 4 points on one arrow, you know it's going to run away with you. But this isn't about this anymore. Van Kradenburg came in here as the favourite, came into this match as the favourite. It was unlikely Marie Louise Vermeulen was going to do enough to kind of, you know, put a real dent in her. Right now, this is about shooting well, finishing strong, delivering some good arrows in this arena, and putting down some good tape on your performance to take forward.
Yeah, good scrapbook material, that's for sure. Van Kradenburg on her way at the moment to the African title, leading by 10 points here in the Tuck Stadium in Pretoria,
at the end of the third end,
capital of South Africa.
Ms. Van Kradenburg leads the competition, 88 points, and Ms. Vermeulen has 78 points. Thank you.
So perhaps the pressure is off a little bit here, a 10-point deficit for Vermeulen. She'll shoot first in the fourth. Just 6 arrows to go in this African Championship gold medal match.
Nine. Nine. 8, 9 liner.
So another opportunity to extend the lead here.
10.
Into the X-ring.
A world-class performance from Jeanine Van Kradenburg. Really hard to perform like that when you're looking down, when you're looking disappointed after every arrow. No matter the output, Marie Louise Vermeulen, if she takes nothing away from this, forced positivity is sometimes necessary.
Well, appearing like there's nothing that Vermeulen can do right here. A 9, 8, 9, not a bad score when you look at the rest of her scores, but 2 10s for Van Kradenburg for a now 13-point lead. We do need to have at least one of those arrows measured for Vermeulen, so it could decrease the deficit, but going into 3 arrows to go, Chris, a 12, 13-point lead. It's never insurmountable, of course, because there could be a mistake or an equipment failure, but pretty good position to be in.
Yeah, it's two mistakes to take the win, and that's the that's the way it is with combat archery. It's about precision. It's about not missing. It's a marathon, and like a marathon, if you're that far ahead with 15 minutes to go, you're unlikely to be caught.
Trying to keep his spirits up. Marie Louise Vermeulen.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the fourth aim,
Tarek
we still have
Zidi, the
leading
line judge there,
on a
just
score of
getting the
117
athletes ready, and it is
117.
confirmed a 13-point lead
Miss Vermeulen,
for Van Kradenburg.
her score at the moment is
Jeanine Van Kradenburg
104.
has 1 foot on the top step of the podium. 3 hours to go. And it's Vermeulen to shoot first in the 5th and final end.
Nine. Ten. Eight. Nine. Eight.
Well, drifted up into the 8 there. That might just need a little check, but a 129. So this is already gone.
Nine.
And finishing with a 28. Jeanine Van Kradenburg from South Africa is the 2022 Compound Women's African Champion.